On today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the NECA Predator 2 Battle Armor Lost Predator. Wow. I mean, obviously before we even look at the packaging and get the figure out of packaging, looking at what's all on this figure, it looks like we've got a new head sculpt, we've got some new armor. Wow. Like, I really think NECA, before we even open this, I think NECA did an incredible job on all the extra things that they've added to this figure. This has me super excited. Again, I haven't even opened it yet. It features over 25 points of articulation, includes sword, sheath, and throwing disc. Down below there is a picture of the Lost Predator there. On the back of the package, aliases, the Borg, green, not quite the same Borg, but weapons, throwing disc, and sword. The read-up says, Lost Hunters, the Lost Hunters, a clown shrouded in mystery. Travelers of both time and space, the predators exist to hunt, and they adhere to a strict code of honor where defeat is equal to death. The other figures that were available in this line of Predator figures, there was the Wasp Predator, there was Thermal Vision Dutch, and then today we're having a look at the Battle Armor Lost Predator. What I am going to do is take a break, going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we are going to get a better look at the Battle Armor Lost Predator. I can't wait. Hopefully you guys can't wait as well. There's definitely more heading your way. Don't go anywhere. So we really have a lot to cover in this figure, and if I have left anything out in the course of this review, let me know down below, and Spot certainly apologizes, but we're going to do our best to look at everything that's on this piece. This is a gorgeous piece. Some of the accessories first having a look at. The Lost Predator does come with a throwing disc, one of the bladed discs that they use. And they've put a lot of extra paint on it. It's not just the singular color. It's got this metallic blue, something that you will see very common with when we look at the rest of the figure. And then, of course, it's kind of got, I want to say it's like a coppery gunmetal color for the blades themselves. But a really nice touch. The blades are a little fragile. So, obviously, as always, be careful with holding these. And I can see why a lot of these lines are geared for older collectors. You definitely would not want something like this to get broken. Moving this aside, he does come with his plasma caster cannon, which has a ball joint on the end. And really on its own, it has its own ball joint in the upper, right where the cannon actually is. You can take it, and there is a section right at the top there where you just peg it into place. So much of this Predator is very unique to itself. It's stuff that you don't see with other Predators that we've gotten in these lines. Just peg that into place, and you've got the plasma caster on the Predator. We'll look at him. We'll look at that and the Predator in a second. But then the last weapon that he comes with is this bladed weapon. I'm assuming that this section right here, I'm guessing, perhaps maybe it just lights up, but I want to think that this heats up really hot, that allows him to slice through anything that stands in his way. The same blue metallic in the armor is on the handle of the blade, but it looks beautiful. And something also I like about this Predator figure too is everything is so unique to itself. This bladed sword is not something I've seen with another Predator before, and you can tell it's very unique to this particular figure. You can take the weapon and slide it into the sheath that's on the back of the Predator. Something else that you don't really see a lot of. You don't see a lot of swords on Predators. There's a lot to behold on this figure, and hopefully in this video I can do some justice to the piece. I guess let's start looking at the figure's face, or the helmet that's on the Lost Predator. Certainly his name lives up to, well, the name certainly lives up to the Predator in the fact that it's battle armor. He's got a lot of armor on this piece. I suppose the figure relies on using the similar build, similar pieces as original Predator figures, but he's got a lot of extra stuff on him. That helmet that he wears is so incredible. Something too that you don't really see a lot of Predators having is blue. Like this blue armor is very, very unique. Looking at it, it looks like something, and I can't quite put my finger on what it looks like. Maybe you guys can help me down below, but it looks, there's something very familiar about the look of this Predator. On the back of his, or on the back of the figure, the plasma caster is this huge piece comprised of these hoses and all the little workings underneath here. The same coloring that we saw with the bladed weapon is down here as well, this kind of silver, pewter, kind of gunmetal, copper gunmetal color, which also is something that carries over to the, on the underside here, there's almost like a spinal cord kind of armor piece that's on the back of the Predator here. Of course, for, something common too is you get the dreads. They're all individually sculpted as well. And the Predator is, again, speaking of things that are very distinct to this particular Predator, the Predator is in a green. It's kind of got a green and beige color scheme that I didn't think would work with the armor, but surprisingly works really well. He's got the hoses on the front of this armor as well, the same kind of hoses that are on the back. And then his belt area, his mid-torso section, has that same armor that carries around the front and matches really well to the head. I almost want to think he kind of looks like Cyrax from Mortal Kombat, at least in the way that the armor helmet is. The blue in his wrists, again, carry over to the armor that's in his helmet. He doesn't know, if you notice, he doesn't have any blades. This particular Predator has no side gauntlet blades. I guess the majority of his blade comes from this large sword that he's always carrying around. That, as well as the plasma caster cannon, it's clearly enough that he is very, he's not outmatched by really anybody. The legs kind of are very similar to other Predators. A lot of reused pieces here, but this is very original and very unique to itself. Articulation on the Lost Predator. His head is on a ball joint. So despite the fact that his head is as large as it is, you still get quite a bit of movement out of that head. The waist is also on a swivel. Swivels back and forth. As for the shoulders, they're on a hinge and socket joint, so they rotate out, forward, back. He does have a bend in the elbow. He has a rotation in the hand, or in the forearm itself. You can't bend the forearm too much, probably because this gauntlet armor really butts up against the bicep area. So you bend it, it kind of stops it around there. He has ball jointed hands, so they rotate, and there's also a hinge there. The legs go forward, back, out via their own ball and socket hinge. And there is a double bend at the knee. No rotation from the looks of it in the knee itself. And no swivel or anything at the bottom, but he does also have a ball jointed foot. It's such an impressive piece. And I think not only with the paint, the new sculpt that NECA has put on this piece, I mean, overall, it's so impressive. And really, just as a scale comparison, and as a comparison between the two figures, let's bring in like the Hive Wasp Predator here. I just want to show you guys the difference between the two. It goes to show, while using similar bodies, that just changing out armor, you can make something so distinctly different from another piece. I was quite impressed with Wasp. I am extremely impressed with the Battle Armor Lost Predator. NECA really blew this one out of the water and set the bar extremely high for future Predator figures. As for rating, I'm going to give the Battle Armor Lost Predator a 9.5. It really doesn't get any better than this. I mean, again, NECA really did such a solid job on this figure itself. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the NECA Predator 2 figures. We're having a look today at the Battle Armor Lost Predator. If you guys have been lucky enough to pick up this figure, let me know down below what you guys think of this particular piece. And certainly stay tuned, Spot's going to have more Predator figure reviews heading your way as well. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.